All right. Hi, everybody. I'm live. Doing my homework for my career, which, is nursing. And I ran across a film that CNN had about how did Donald, what happened to the 2016 election. And again, Russian collusion. And basically, I'm like really sick and tired of the lies. So I'm going to tell you, how did Donald Trump win the election? Now, I wasn't going to post this, all right? I wasn't going to post this because why in the world do I want to help the Democrats by letting them know what happened? But recently, I saw Nancy Pelosi say what happened. Jobs, jobs, jobs. Yes. That's what she said, and they finally figured it out. And it took them forever to figure it out, and they must have spent a ton of money on figuring that out. But I'm going to give you a couple quick points here to let you know what happened. How did I get involved? Okay, I'm just an American citizen, working, traveling, doing my job. I'm a travel nurse. I'm in Colorado, but I don't have any really bad habits. I don't have to drink. I don't have to smoke. I just don't have these bad habits. So I followed the greatest reality TV show of all time, which was the 2016 presidential election. That's what happened. I had nothing better to do than to intently follow what was going on. And in my following, I started to, I'm a very careful listener. I developed that listening skill from working for the phone company. I'm a very, very good listener, and it's one of my qualities. And so I started hearing things that, I guess other people weren't paying attention to, but I did. So the first thing I heard was way back when Chris Cuomo on CNN interviewing Donald Trump, then a candidate for the election. Okay. And he mentioned, basically, it's my first exposure fake news. Now, most of the time, you don't concern, you're busy with your life and you trust reporters to get the facts straight and stuff. And here I am, and Chris Cuomo is talking to Donald Trump, and he tells him about, Donald Trump says that NAFTA was a disaster, and Donald Trump says it was Clinton. And Chris Cuomo comes back very firm, like he knew what he was talking about. He said, "Oh no, that happened under Bush." And I'm like, dude, I'm old enough to remember. That don't sound right. So what do? I Google like everybody else, and in the Google, it's right there. It says it was signed by President Clinton. Clinton signed NAFTA, mind you, passed by a Republican Congress. Okay, but it was Clinton that signed Congress. Now, when Cuomo hit Donald, he did like a little shuffle step because then Donald wasn't sure. I guess Donald didn't have somebody in the room checking Google to make sure, no, you got your facts straight. It was Clinton, not Bush. And so Donald did a little shuffle, okay? Fine. But the fact was, Donald was right. And here I am listening to Chris Cuomo like he would bet his soul that it was Bush. And it wasn't. It wasn't Bush. So that bothered me. Anyway, I'm out west, and I'm listening. The debates start. I think it's the best reality TV show ever. And, I got here my notes just to try to keep in track. February 7th, 2016. By the way, you can look this up. I'm not making any of this up. This is factual, okay? Really something that then really, really bothered me, okay? Like I said, I'm a nurse. I've been working in ICU, critical care, emergency room for many years. And in that debate, which is, it's really, really toxic, bothersome, the editing that you hear when you try to find exactly, remember what, I went back and I try to find the tape, and I did, and it was February 7, 2016, ABC News with the Republican presidential debate. And in that debate, the famous line during the debate, people dying in the street if you remove Obamacare. So this thing really bothered me. Number one, Donald Trump. I'm not saying that the answer Donald Trump was correct because he's wrong. He doesn't know. Why doesn't he know the right answer? Because he's a filthy rich billionaire. None of his kids get in line to go see a doctor. You know, he picks up a phone, the doctors either come to him, okay, or they don't wait around, they go right in, they see the doctor, and they pay cash. There's no insurance. They don't do that. It's a whole different scheme of things. So when the ABC News people said, oh, you know, people are dying in the street, that really, really bothered me because as an emergency room nurse, that doesn't happen. Okay? Why doesn't that happen? Because there's a little called HIPAA. And y'all may not know HIPAA, but if you are in the medical field, you know HIPAA. And basically one of the things in HIPAA is you can't transfer patients from one hospital to another. Oh, and by the way, this law was enacted under President Clinton. Clinton. That's how far back this has been enacted. You could tell me, oh, people were dying in the street before Clinton. You can't tell me that now. No, because, you know, the HIPAA, one of the policies in HIPAA is you cannot transfer a patient to another hospital until they're stable. So that means that somebody comes in with a gunshot wound to the hospital and you are dying. Well, I got to take care of you. I don't ask you for your insurance. I don't ask you. This is so insultive. And that's one of the things that really bothered me about the whole 2016 election. Why is it that so many people that are considered medical professionals that deal with life and death allowed these things to be said openly that are false? We do not let people die in the street. This is America. That doesn't happen. It hasn't happened in a long time. Do people die in the street? Yes. For example, if you're in Colorado or somewhere in the mountains and you have a person like an Indian, like American Indian, okay, that have alcohol problems, they'll drink and drink and drink, and they'll sit in the cold, and then they get a really cold front, and they freeze to death. And that still happens today. So people can still die in the street. But that doesn't mean that as America as a whole, we're letting people die in the street. So that really bothered me. That really bothered me that was said, that was propagated, and that continued to be propagated like Obamacare, people are dying in the street if you don't have Obamacare. And that also bothers me because there's a difference between medical care and insurance. And they always put it together. This got under my skin more than anything. No, health insurance is not health care. We still take care of you if you don't have health insurance. We don't let you die because you do not have health insurance. That is an insult to every medical professional I know. As a nurse, working with doctors, radiologists, respiratory therapists, we don't let people die just because you can't pay the bill. That's a lie. That's a very insulting lie. And we sat there and swallowed it like saying, oh, one has to do with the other. Oh, well, if you don't have health insurance, you're obviously not going to get help. That's a lie. That is an absolute lie. We will take care of you. Then you get a bill, and if you can't pay it, then it's a write-off for the hospital. And basically, you know, that's where we're at with that. But this is the thing that got me very upset. This is what got me very upset with many of the what was being said, the fake news that was being said constantly, and it bothered me really bad. I'm going to continue here. This is very important that I bring this up. So, what is the strategy? You know, they keep saying Hillary lost, the Russian involvement. You know, that's bullshit. I'm sorry. It absolutely is. One says, "Oh, well, we're doing a political study strategy. We're trying to figure out the weaknesses of the other people, and then we report it." Well, that's called negative advertisement. That's the strategy in elections for forever. Don't talk about you, the person. Talk about your opponent in a negative light. And why do you do that? You do that because the only reason you do that is if you get dirt on the other person, you suppress voter turnout. You get me? Suppress voter turnout. That means that, you know, you're not trying to get more people to vote for you. All you're trying to do is get the other guy less people to vote for him or her. And that's the strategy. It's been like that forever. So, the whole vagina thing, that wasn't helpful. A lot of Republicans got turned off. I'm not going to vote for this guy. And then the whole email thing with Hillary, I'm not going to vote for that girl. So that's the negative approach to advertising that we've been influenced with for many, many years. I'm going to give you an example to show that there's psychology behind this, and it's out there. It's just part of what it is. The Wedding Crashers. I love that movie. The actor Owen Wilson, okay, says to the actress Rachel McAdams, okay, at the end, one of the last scenes of the movie, she's standing up at the altar, okay. His friend's getting married. He starts to talk to her, and he says to her, "Listen to this. This is not a coincidence, okay. Listen to what he says. He says, and I wrote it down word for word. Claire, I am not standing here asking you to marry me. I am just asking you not to marry him." That's the psychology behind the elections. That's the psychology. That's the way it's been. That's the way it's been forever. No, don't, let's not talk about all what I bring to the table, all the good things. No, no, no. We're going to spend millions of dollars talking really bad about the other guy so people won't vote for that other guy. Just suppress the vote. That's what they do. And that's the psychology. And that's what they do. It just is. So Donald Trump was down 20 points, okay? And I'm in Colorado, okay? And he panics, okay? He panics. He starts talking about the election is rigged. Y'all remember that? The election is rigged, okay? So Obama responds to him, listen carefully now. This is verifiable, factual, not fake news. I'm not a Russian bot. That's nonsense. Okay, this is all factual. Obama says October 18th in the White House lawn. Obama says you have to be persuasive in your message. Persuade more people to vote for you. Don't blame it on a rigged system. Now Obama says that arrogantly, obnoxiously. Hey, dude, you got to persuade more people. He's saying this, not realizing that I'm listening. I'm going, really? You're going to say that? I'm listening to what's going on. And I'm saying, okay, fine. Then, soon after, okay, this is the other thing so there's several things that got me going. Soon after, Hillary's campaign manager, Robbie Mook, appeared on the news. Robbie Mook, the campaign manager, he just bothered me so much. His arrogance. They were so sure. Now, Hillary's up by 20 points. Donald Trump is in big trouble. He's going to lose. And this guy comes on the TV gloating, just completely obnoxious. Just thinking, it's over. Trump's going to lose. Trump's going to lose. So I'm sitting at home. There's a website. Okay? There's a website. A campaign. They say, hey, if you have any suggestions, feel free to write in. And I do. This is the letter written. Now, listen, this is very important. October 23rd, 2016, I wrote this letter to the Donald Trump campaign. Allow me to read this letter to you, okay? Donald, I have been grappling with the thought you really don't want to win the presidency because of all the missteps you've done along the way. However, after careful consideration, I have concluded that you really want to win, and I want to help you win. Here's the formula. The DNC strategy has always been, all things being equal, vote for the woman. Let me explain. The DNC and the RNC will vote for their candidate, regardless of flaws, and the DNC knows that. They have been targeting the independent voter all along. That's a fact. Independent voters by nature are cynical. That's me. They believe both parties are corrupt and will vote for the least of the two evils. But, hold on. This time, there is a woman. History can be made. Let's give the woman a chance at running this country. She's as ruthless, power-hungry, and conniving as any male president has ever been, so let's give the woman a president a chance. This is what Donald was facing. The DNC just had to make you look as bad as her, and they have succeeded, even though it's not true. That's in a nutshell. That's exactly what happened. Now, how to win the presidency? I hope you listen to my counsel as an independent voter. 1. Cease and desist all negative campaigning on Hillary at once. All you're doing is helping the RNC, not you. The RNC will get what they want, you to lose, and Hillary as one-term president. 2. Go back to attacking these politicians as a whole, not just the GOP. Don't give the Dems a pass. This is one of your strengths as an outsider. Play on that. Okay? Number 3, go positive the rest of the way and not by you. Let your family, friends, and employees express their feelings towards you as a great man that you are. Don't say it yourself because it appears as arrogant, and that again make equal to Hillary, not better. Number 4, save some money on advertisement, and you know he'd love that part. Save some money on advertisement and go to your $1 million businesses. This is the key. When you went to the opening of your hotel in D.C., now, by the way, again, I say this to you, friends, family, anybody listening, I hope everybody hears this. This is what really happened. No doubt. I'm telling you right now, this is what really happened. Not Russian bots, okay? They didn't see this. His own people, his own campaign manager, his own campaign trackers, his own campaign resources, they didn't see this. Because if they would have seen this, they would have done something about it. But me, have no life, nothing to do but work, save money, enjoy the mountains when I go for a walk, whatever. I saw this. I saw when a candidate would have a speech and then the next day's results on the poll numbers. And I saw this. That was a fact. Okay? I'm going to continue now. When you went to the opening of your hotel in D.C., the next day you had a 6-point jump in the polls, specifically with women voters. Are you aware of this? Did anybody around tell you this? I suspect they did it. But please check what I'm saying to be true. 6 points with women voters specifically. Why did that happen? Research into the mind of women on making choices says, quote, to reach and engage women, you will have to create emotive shopping experiences that resonate with them. A purely functional approach cannot fall flat pretty quickly. Women want to know more about you, your brand, the lifestyle you sell, and how your products are going to make them feel. Got that out of the internet and does not explain what happened the day of your visit to your hotel in D.C. It wasn't you saying I built this under budget or how you made a great deal. That's not what happened. Blah, blah, blah. No, Donald. It was you walking into your ballroom and shaking hands with your black head chef and what a great job he's doing, and you taking pictures with all the ladies in their business attire, hair and nails perfect, shoes shined. In this down economy, you showed all people you are still succeeding in putting people to work. Jobs, jobs, jobs is what is it all about. You lost sight of this. Finally, make no mistake. This is the winning formula, and you do this, you will win. And yes, I want to be compensated. After the win, I want two things. Okay, that's between me and Donald. He has not compensated me. This upsets me a little bit, I have to tell you. But let's continue. The very next day, October 24th, you can look this up on YouTube, he goes to the Doral. And he does at least 70% of what I told him. Mind you, he has not said jobs, jobs, jobs until October 24th. He doesn't say it any time before that. Jobs, jobs, jobs. They finally figured this out. It took them almost 2 years. Nancy Pelosi, she said it, jobs, jobs, jobs. And it took them that long to realize. How hard was that to realize? I don't know. In my notes, I wrote down about this this guy. Let me see if I find it. Well, we'll get back to that. Anyway, October 24th, the Doral, he goes off and says jobs, jobs, jobs. And all his employees talk about him, not him talking about himself, because that doesn't impress women. But it does impress women when other people talk about you highly. And especially if other women speak highly of you. You see, that's a psychology. That is what put him over the top. Okay? And this is not, again, to persuade Republican or Democrat voters. No. Even though it did work, 9% of Democrats voted for Donald Trump. More blacks voted for Donald Trump. More Hispanics voted for Donald Trump. Okay? But what I was targeting was the independent voter. Whoever wins the independent vote wins national elections. They like to break it down into, all different types of groups. But the fact of the matter is, you're not registered Republican, you're not registered Democrat, you're the other. And so many other news organizations say you're the other. The other is the independent voter. And you get two choices, whoever they present. So if you can persuade the independent voter, and by the way, I ask you, please look, okay? Please look for the independent voter results, okay? And you will see that it was the independent voter that won Donald Trump the election. I feel great. I feel great that I helped this man win the election. The other option was horrible. I'm sorry, Democrats, you did not put up a very good candidate. I got to give you a couple more things that I think are very important. October 28th, the FBI and the emails that were found in the computer from Hillary's aide. Now, they keep saying, "Oh, it was the emails that were hacked by the Russians." Well, this one wasn't hacked by the Russians. This one was found by the FBI. And let's just say that the other one, the ones that were hacked by the Russians supposedly, which I do not believe, let's just say that didn't happen. Well, they still had this before the election of October 28th. Pretty bad. They found the emails. And let's two things, and I ask y'all to be reasonable about what I'm about to say. You all are probably partisan in your belief, okay? But I ask you Democrats, y'all that are friends of mine or acquaintances that are Democrats, you got to ask yourself a couple questions if you're being fair-minded. One, they keep saying 17 federal agencies concluded that the Russians, messed with our election. How is it that happened? How is it that all of a sudden 17? How did that happen? You're telling me all 17 defenses, the Naval Defense, the Air Force Defense, they all came up with this conclusion on their own. Why were they investigating this then? That's the first thing that sounds so suspicious. The next one that's also very important, I want you to think about for a second if you're open-minded, okay? Did not the news, the FBI, go to the RNC and say, hey, we have suspicion that they're trying to meddle in the election? And the RNC said what? Oh, yeah, come and check our servers. Make sure everything is secure. Make sure everything is fine. And did not the FBI do the same thing to the DNC? And what did they do? Get away. Don't mess with our stuff. Don't check our servers. Leave it up to us. All right, well, and then you get hacked. And then you get infiltrated. And then you're gonna say, oh, well, no, my man. Listen, this is the part that really bothers me. If you're speeding down the highway and you're breaking the law, and a police officer comes behind you, okay, puts his lights on, you pull over, you were speeding, you were breaking the law. You talk to them. He lets you go. You were still speeding. He let you go. That's what happened with the FBI. You were busted. You were doing things you weren't supposed to do. Grossly negligence became, they used to change the term from gross negligence to, what was it? Very careless something. Baloney. The point is, you still have the nerve to say anything to this police officer that they found you messed up, that you had all this stuff unsecure, government information, and you had it in your own home, and somehow you're going to justify and say that's okay? The fact of the matter is, they let you go. You didn't go to jail. You should be thankful. You should have gone to jail. You should have gotten you know what I'm saying? No. They came to you. They told you, hey, you need to secure everything, and you didn't. You didn't secure it. You didn't have them come in and help you. Why? History of Democrats not trusting their government. Okay, well, hey, they told you, hey, you're trying to get hacked, and you know. So that's very important. Number two, very important. I got to put my reading glasses on here. Oh yeah, postscript after the election, and this is so amazing that Robbie Mook, he's on the news, and this is what he said. This is what he said before the election. He said the following: the problem with the Democrats, the danger in politics is you focus on the process rather than the substance. Wow, that rang so true. You did, and by the way, the bio on Robbie Mook is he's a data guy. Robbie, you know the data was out there. You know that independents were concerned about the economy. The economy. And you didn't hit on that. Robbie, you knew that there were 24 states and 42% of the vote went to Bernie Sanders, this old, decrepit guy, like old, communist, leaning socialist. And they didn't go for Hillary. And you're sitting with all this data, and you did you provide this data? Were you so arrogant in not providing the data on how to get the independent voter, that it's all about the economy, that she should have had speeches prepared to help the economy? But no, she talks about closing factories. You serious? Closing factories? Donald Trump is by far one of the worst, politicians ever. He's not a politician. And he still beat this so-called perfect politician, Hillary Clinton. You know why? Because people need to work. Because they don't want a hand out. They want a hand up. They want a job. They want to go to work. They want to keep their dignity. Okay? They're not freeloaders. They're not hustlers. They want to get employment, work, feed their family, take care of their family. And you somehow miss this about human nature. You somehow forget this. The substance. You forgot about the substance. You focused on the process, and you lost, man. And I gotta tell you, I'm very happy about that, Mr. Mook. I'm very happy you lost, bro, because I couldn't deal with you, man. Watching on the news. Uh, and then after the election, you say on CNN, polling was off. No, no, it was not. Polling was on target. Polling was on fire. Donald Trump was down. I sent a letter. I've refocused the president-elect on what he had to focus on. Jobs, jobs, jobs. That's the only thing that concerned independent voters, okay? And you missed it. And I'm glad you missed it, because Hillary does not know how to produce work. Hillary does not know how to put people to work. But this billionaire, he's got successful companies putting people to work, smiling, happy people with jobs. And he knows how to do that. And that's all I really care about. I could care about everything else and your safe spaces and all this other nonsense going on. Give people to work. You know, if people are busy working, they're not causing too many problems in society. I'm just saying. Oh, postscript to the Bernie supporters. You guys, like I said, I had nothing better to do in my life than to watch the news and to watch what happened to the Bernie supporters. You guys got screwed over so bad. And, you know, you guys are the supposedly anti-establishment people. Even though you guys think repeatedly you say you would have won against Donald, I believe if you would have been up against Donald, you also would have lost. Because Bernie, you never created a job in your life. All you want is a handout. You want to take from other people. That's all you socialists do. All you communists, you want to take stuff from other people. Me of Cuban descent, I know all about communists and coming in and taking everything from other people that they didn't earn, they don't deserve. They don't want to work for it. They just want to take it. Okay? And then they want to give some kind of utopian excuse of communism for what they're doing. No. You would have lost because jobs, jobs, jobs creator was Donald Trump, not you, Bernie Sanders. So for all you Bernie Sanders supporters, you will not have won either. So I'm just letting you know, you will not have won. And finally, I want you to think about this one last thing, and I think it's really important. Now, the now that we live in right now, the now that's been the last month, the last 2 years, the now. How stupid is the mainstream media with the narrative that 25 Russian agents spending $110,000 on Facebook beat the mighty DNC and their $1,800,000,000 that they spent on the ads? You're going to tell me that the DNC spent $1,800,000,000 and they lost to 25 people sitting in front of a computer putting these Russian bot, whatever they call it, on Facebook? That's why Hillary lost the election. That's a joke. That's a joke. And this is two more real quick things I have to get out of my mind because I got nothing better to do. That's absolutely a joke. And you really need to stop saying that, because if I was one of the 400 families that paid for this election, the filthy, filthy rich that backed Hillary, okay, I'd be super pissed. And I think that's actually what's going on. Somehow these mainstream media have to somehow, make up some kind of excuse because you're not supposed to lose. Not if you spend that kind of money to win an election. You're not supposed to lose, okay? And I think that what's been going on in the news is to somehow make these families somewhat happy. You better come up with some kind of reason, because if you don't come up with some kind of reason, then, why in the world would I give you any more money? Listen, I'm not one of these filthy rich families. If I get in line and I order French fries from McDonald's and I get my fries and it looks like my bag is kind of somewhat empty and I didn't get my fair share of French fries, I'm upset. You can only imagine how upset these people got. that they gave all this money to Hillary Clinton to win the election and they lost. That you could only imagine. So if these TV stations want to keep getting that revenue from the DNC to run negative ads, which is the system that we've been in for forever, 20 plus years, and they make cha-ching money on all these political ads, you bet your bottom dollar that it's all about money at the end of the day, and that's why they're running this false narrative that, oh, no, if the race was equal and fair, Hillary would have won. That's the whole purpose. That's part of the purpose. The other psychology is also, bear with me. The other psychology is the constant drumbeat is to imply that, hey, you Republicans, you made a mistake. Look at the mistakes he's doing. You should let us be the ones in charge. Let the Democrats be the ones in charge. And that's all they do. And they never want to talk about anything positive. They only want to keep pointing out things that they consider negative, and so they can come back and say, you see what you did? You voted for this guy. It's a mistake. You should let us be in charge. This will not have happened if Democrats were in charge. And that's the other message that's being propagated constantly, is that's your basic message. That's why they keep going after him, is to just pound it in your mind. You should let us run everything, because if we run things, this would never happen with Trump. And that of course, keeping the Democrats who felt they lost in power or engaged by saying, oh no, it was the Russians. So now you get this anger inside you. All these TV stars, all these people with money that keep sending money to them. You're all fools. You know that, right? You're all fools. They keep sending this money, and that's what they want. It's all about money at the end of the day. Money, power, be in power, have the money keep coming in, so you can live a happy life, or what you think is happy life, which is a big mistake. So, to wrap this up in a nutshell, that is what happened. Jobs, jobs, jobs. From a concerned citizen, right? I'm the guy. I'm the 400-pound genius, which is what Donald calls it on Twitter. I don't know if it's genius. I do know that I did pay attention. I'm a very good listener, and things got me very upset and made me take part. And I didn't just do this door-to-door knocking. I gave Donald where I thought he needed to do to win, and I believe that's why he won. I believe that jobs, 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 that message that started October 24th to the end, which is like amazing. 8 days, 2 weeks of that messaging. That's what he did. All of a sudden he took off and messaging that, and the media was so stupid. They think they're so smart, but they're so stupid. You should have seen. I urge you to Google what happened in the Doral. They looked at it and they thought he was throwing in the towel. They looked at it and they looked like he was going to quit. Now, for me, there's two things that come to mind after the election. One, did somebody get him this information to set him up to say, oh, do this, and then he really, to set him up to lose? In other words, somebody didn't believe the data I provided and just set him up, do this, and then that's it, you're over. Somebody set him up with his wife, Melania, reading that letter that Obama's wife read. The same exact thing. That was a setup. That was embarrassing. Okay? So, did somebody do that again? Provide this information thinking, this is not going to help you win? But it did. It helped him win the election. Or did he, he was at, what do you have to lose? Because he was down 20 points. It kind of made sense. The data was correct. I gave him the stuff he needed to say. And then if he followed the poll numbers, October 25th, he had a 20-point change. Okay? More than 20 points shifted back to him. In one day. In one day, that happened. It's there. It's raw. It's data. It can't be hidden. You look it up. Political, whatever, or the polling. It's there. That's how great the shift happened when he had his employees talking about how wonderful this man is. Hispanics, blacks, all kinds of races. They were all thanking him for the health insurance that they have, for the job that they have, for working for him, how good he was. And that's all people needed to see. They needed to see this businessman say, hey, this guy's going to make things better. And again, in closing, Mr. President, I'm going to put this on Facebook. I hope you see this message. I'm the guy. If you read my letter, at the end of the letter, I did not do this for free. I hope you will honor the agreement, because you did use jobs. It did come from my letter. I hope you honor the agreement and fulfill the deal. Didn't ask for much. You can do it. And all the best to you, Mr. President. Oh, a couple quick things. I just have to say, again, your advisors suck. Okay? This whole Space Force. Are you freaking kidding me, dude? Are you kidding me? Space Force? Another branch of military where American sons will die? Where mothers will grieve over their sons? Do you want any women to vote for you at all in your future? Are you serious? No, Mr. President. I recommend now water. Get with Israel. Get with United Arab Emirates. Get Kushner. Get them to build 3, not 1, 3 desalination plants. 2 off the coast of California, 1 off the coast of Texas. Start producing water, lots of it from the oceans. And I don't know, start pumping it in your national forests. Start irrigating everything. Everything is drying up. We're going through another drought. Major fires everywhere. That's what we need. We need water. Water as a national defense for this country. Water as a national defense. And like Israel, like United Arab Emirates, they are recovering desert. People can live now where there was the desert before. That's where you should be focusing on, not Space Force, man. I don't know what the hell. Who the hell's giving you this advice? Anyway, that's it. Very happy. I finally got this off my chest, and I got to stop this. How do I stop this? Here we go.